the biggest problem, I would say, is that most IT professionals today are outdated, right? And then this applies not only for people that are there in non-big tech companies, right? But even inside of big tech companies, okay? When I was working for Oracle, I saw a lot of people outdated. The problem is that most IT professionals, they think that when they reach some level on their careers or some years of experience, they don't need to take certifications anymore. They don't need to follow tech trends anymore, right? And they think that they can just be there on their comfort zone and everything is going to be okay, right? And there is the other side of the IT professionals as well that are kind of lost in the information overflow. People that are just roaming around watching so many free YouTube videos, wasting their time in there, thinking that this thing is gonna, take them to the next level, right? Watching a lot of Udemy courses, overflow of Udemy courses without the proper strategy, right? And all of that without focusing on getting hands-on expertise that the companies are looking for, right? So that's the biggest problem that I see today on most IT professionals, and that apply even for IT professionals inside of big tech companies, because I saw that with my own eyes when I was working for Oracle, right? And this is something that you can keep in mind, because if you have the profile of a person that do not stay up to date on the technology market, you have a big problem, right? But you can change that, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you, how you can change that, how you can develop that, right? Because the first thing in here is you need to develop your technical pillar around the most demanding technologies in the market right now. Okay, number one. And which are the most popular ones right now in the market? Which are the most popular technologies right now in the market that the companies are crazily looking for right now? And then probably you have noticed that it is cloud computing and DevOps technologies, right? And then maybe you're wondering, but why? Why cloud computing? Well, it's very simple, right? Understand that a lot of companies, most of the companies right now in the earth, they are migrating their workloads to the cloud more and more, right? And who is going to migrate those workloads and maintain those environments once they go live, right? So companies are there working on their physical data centers and they want to migrate to the cloud. Who do you think that's going to do all of that? It's you, my friend. It's you. If you're an IT professional, it doesn't matter if you're a DBA, a networking engineer, infrastructure engineer, if you're a software developer, if you're managing a team, but it is you that you're watching the live in here as well, right? But the big problem is most of the IT professionals in the market right now don't have any hands-on expertise on cloud technologies. And then this usually led them to be kind of outdated and without a lot of visibility on the market to land cloud positions. Okay. So you need to understand that, right? Look at my career. So that's why I was, showing you my journey so that you could understand. I started working, as a software developer, very, very short experience. And then I moved to a Oracle database, administration, infrastructure, and all of that. I didn't have any cloud experience at all until I joined Oracle Corporation here on Silicon Valley to work on that cloud position. But why Oracle hired me for that position in Silicon Valley? Because they needed somebody with the on-premises expertise and also willing to spend time learning more about cloud computing to help the customers to migrate their applications and workloads to the cloud. And the same thing applies in here for you, right? If you're a DBA or if you're an infrastructure engineer, a software developer, the companies are looking for you. But the problem is if you don't have the cloud expertise, the cloud hands-on expertise. Most importantly, if you don't have cloud certifications, if you don't have all of that, how do you think that the companies are going to hire you? You should develop all of them. I'm going to give you some advice here on how you can do it. Okay. And the other one is, right, why the companies are moving to the cloud. Maybe you're wondering, maybe you're thinking, hey, John, I think cloud computing is just one more hype that's going to go away very soon. And then I'm afraid to say that you are wrong, because the companies are moving to the cloud not because cloud is a trending topic, or because it is or beautiful, right? Not like that. Companies are moving to the cloud computing, to the cloud providers, of course, because of, I would say, three very basic reasons, right? Reducing costs, agility, and scalability, right? The companies can do endless things, innovate much faster if they go to the cloud computing, if they use cloud computing services, right? So think about that, right? On the example that I gave you of the biggest West company that I had the pleasure to migrate, they use it to run all their infrastructure, all the databases, all applications inside of a corporate data center in Dallas. All right, everything was actually inside of a supercluster, Exadata. The database layer was kind of inside of the supercluster DB domains, and then the application running on supercluster Solaris application zones and all of that, right? All of that, everything running in the corporate data centers. And then one given day, the CIO of the company decided that they were going to close the data center. And guess what? They basically started, engaging, the tech vendors, the tech companies working together with them to make this migration to work. So that's exactly what many other small and business and medium business are doing right now. They're closing their data centers and moving to the cloud. And why DevOps, right? Maybe you're wondering. It is all about automation and speed. Okay, so the companies, they need to move their workloads and put their environments live quickly, right? They can't waste time. They are not, they cannot waste time. They don't have a lot of time available to make the movement happen, right? So as you could imagine, right? So we have migrated a whole infrastructure of a line company in just a few months, right, to a cloud environment because they wanted to close their data center. Actually, the contract with the data center was expiring, and they didn't want to renew that. And we had a lot of pressure to make these things happening very fast. And if we didn't use DevOps technologies to make those things, happening very quickly, how we could meet the deadlines and the timelines of the project. If we wouldn't use Terraform, for example, to spin up the infrastructure very quickly, Ansible to automate the configuration management, and many other tools to allow the provisioning and the migration process works quicker, how do you think that we could meet the deadlines and the timelines? It wouldn't be possible, right? So that's why the companies are using not this infrastructure as a code tools like Terraform, Ansible, but many other technologies like Docker, Kubernetes, and many others to allow them to ship applications faster to the market, right? So that's why so important that you have a good grasp of cloud computing, and then more specifically, I would say on the major cloud providers, which are AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, and other cloud infrastructure, because then you develop a multi-cloud view, right? If you remember, the project that I got engaged was actually involving two cloud providers, right? More and more, the companies are investing in a multi-cloud strategy, right? Actually, more than 90% of the companies are already going to invest in a multi-cloud strategy. So you are, as an IT professional, you need to have a broad view, not only one single cloud provider, but you should understand better how the big picture and the multi-cloud world would work together. Okay, so that you can increase your chances to get a high visibility and high paying cloud position in the market, and how you can develop your technical pillar, right? And well, I'm gonna tell you what I usually do, and then you can do the same thing, right? Okay, you ready? So take notes, because that's very important. What I usually do is I research what the companies are doing in the cloud space, right? Very, very simple. And then how you can see that. Think about that. There are so many companies in the market right now migrating to the cloud, and many of those companies they actually become like reference customers and reference projects to the cloud providers, so that other companies that are still on their journey to migrate to the cloud, they can go there and use the same thing, right? And then the way that I like to do it is I like to use the cloud computing provider documentation, white papers, reference architectures, and all of that, so that I can figure out what's going on, what the companies are doing, right? Because if I go there on the AWS white papers, for example, I'm going to see a few reference architectures from big companies around the globe that are doing very nice things on the cloud space. And then starting from there, I know that this is a real world project that somebody is doing, or somebody or some company already did in the past that another company could do very soon as well. All right. And then what I do with that, I gather this information and I start simulating those scenarios in a fully hands-on way. Fully hands-on. And why do I do that? It's very simple, because when you do that, when you start creating your own hands-on project on your own hands-on I would say cloud environments, you start getting a lot of exposure and confidence, and this thing builds your confidence. All right, because when you go to the interviewing process and all of that, you need to show to the recruiter that you can solve a business problem using technology. That's what they are looking for. They are not looking for they don't want to know if you know what is a Amazon EC2 service. They want you to know how you can how you can solve a business problem using the AWS EC2 service, for example. Does that make sense? So you should start creating those, hands-on projects that you can start getting exposure on all of that. And that's exactly what we do on the multi-cloud bootcamp as well, right? So you can do it on your own or on our multi-cloud bootcamp. If you don't know that, it is our cloud computing, cloud career accelerator program that you can, practice more than 30 hands-on projects, based on real-world scenarios from my industry experience, and many other projects are there as well, based on real-world scenarios from the companies, that you can just go there and execute those projects. And then those things are going to start building your confidence, your technical confidence. And then you're going to start having stories on your mouth that you can tell to the recruiters of the companies. And then you can start getting cloud job offers, right? So that's on the technical pillar, right? The problem is most IT professionals, they understand this technical pillar wrong, because they don't do all of that. They just go to the free YouTube videos, start saying, hey, let me see what is a EC2 service. Let me see what is a Azure virtual machine, or what is a load balancer. And then they don't do anything around a real world scenario. And then when they go to the interviews, they are rejected. All right. So that's why that's something that you should avoid.